about money. Just because you have money doesn't mean that you spend it the right way. And just because you don't have a lot of money doesn't mean that you do nothing with it. And that's not just about baseball. That's about all sports. That's about life in general. You can have a lot of money. Who hasn't heard about the many examples of somebody winning a 9-figure lottery or an 8-figure lottery, and then after 5 years, they find themselves in a trailer park, and not a luxurious gated community trailer park with lots of other millionaires. Like a trailer park with a meth lab and lots of rusty trailers, and nobody else is driving a Bentley. Everybody's got, 13-year-old rusty vehicles that are constantly in the shop. You can have a lot of money and you can waste it. And you can also not have much money and you can do a heck of a lot with it. Just because Chris Ilitch could go out there and spend money doesn't mean that the team has to be bad. And just because Al Avila hasn't been given the opportunity to spend a lot of money doesn't mean that that's an excuse for him to have the 5th worst record in baseball. Nobody was out here saying the Tigers need to be up there in terms of wins and losses with the Dodgers and Yankees, but a lot of us thought that they could be a 500-esque team, like the Rangers at 3 below 500, or the Guardians at a game below 500, or, the Red Sox who prep back to a game below 500, the Braves that are a game above 500. A lot of us thought they could be that good. This is not a money issue. 248-539-9797. How about Keith in Detroit? You're on 97.1 The Ticket.
Hey, what's up, my man?
Hey, Keith, you tell me.
Man, I tell you, first off, I have to say, whoever your screener or producer is, he sounded like he was just not interested in taking any calls.
He took your call, so he proved you wrong.
Yeah, but I didn't even know he put me on hold. He was so just lethargic. Kind of like the Tigers, right? I mean, so if you know who I am, I hate the Lions like I do, like you do. I mean, I love SOL. I think it should be SOSAL, but I know that's kind of R-rated. But I think you need to come up with a theme for the Tigers, man, because I was looking at some of the stats. Since April 23rd, they scored 13 runs. That was the most they've scored all year. Since then, they've scored lower than 3 runs per game. And they're not even the worst team in the majors. I think I saw where Seattle was the lowest run scored for the whole season.
No, that's not true. The Tigers have scored 150 runs. The Mariners have scored 222.
Wow, it said since Monday. I don't know if I was looking at an old article, but I thought that was kind of weird. I was like, how did Seattle worse? And I was looking at since the Tigers had that, 119 loss season, back in 2002, they were averaging 3.57 runs per game, which is hard to beat this year's version of scores. And even when you look at last year, I mean, they even improved their roster on paper, hitting-wise, and pitching. I mean, overall, pitching has been okay this year, even with all the injuries. They have a good enough team pitching-wise, where if they were even scoring like 3.5, 4 runs a game, they probably have 10, 15 more wins.
And you're right about a lot of the things you're saying, because on paper, they were supposed to be a lot better. On paper, Javier Baez is better than Zach Shea and whoever else they were putting at shortstop last year. So, and on paper, it seems easy to just put up 4 runs a game. But in reality, when the opposition gets that 3rd run, and certainly that 4th run of each game, it's almost likely, it's likely curtains.
Yep, and it's just like you and I have talked over the years. We blame Stafford for the Lions' woes. We're not saying it's all Stafford's fault, losing those games, but it was a lot of his fault. It's the same thing with the Tigers this year. It's not because they signed Baez and he's so bad. I mean, it's just all these things put together, the injuries, the guys just not hitting, which is so weird that the ball is supposed to be so deflated. But their opponents are hitting the freaking ball to play the Tigers.
Yeah.
But you look at some of the, Riley Green, like you said, Meadows, just some of the things that might have helped. I don't even know how much it would help, because those guys, they just can't hit the freaking ball. And it's just kind of unprecedented. Just like you said in the homestand when they won those 7-9. They won a lot of those games by 1 run. I saw one game they won 3-2. I mean, they're averaging right at around 3 runs.
That's been the issue all season, is that they can't score. So I appreciate the phone call, Keith. They cannot score any way you look at it. When you look at in terms of how far away they are from being the 2nd lowest scoring team in
policy for a lifetime.
DTE wants you to use less energy and save more. Water heating alone consumes about 90% of the energy it takes to operate a clothes washer. So increase efficiency by washing in cold water and cleaning the filter on your dryer after each load. To get more tips, qualify for rebates, recycle appliances, or shop for discounts on energy-efficient products, go to dteenergy.com/saveenergy and see how easy it is to save. DTE.
Hey Detroit, it's Tanya Lalonde from Lalonde Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram, where we sell Jeeps cheap. Lease a brand new Jeep Compass or a brand new Jeep Renegade for just $249 per month. That's right, a new Jeep for $249 per month. But your credit's not so good? Lalonde's lenient lenders can get almost anyone approved. So come see me, Tanya Lalonde, today at the all-new Lalonde Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram in beautiful Emily City, Michigan, or click LaLondeChrysler.com.
5G is here, but the big carriers want you to sign a pricey long-term contract to get access. Well, not anymore, because Straight Talk Wireless has rolled out 5G coverage nationwide with deals like our Silver Unlimited plan for just $45 a month and no contract. And get a Samsung Galaxy A32 5G for $249, all on America's best networks. 5G coverage, 5G phones, less money. Straight Talk Wireless. No contract, no compromise. 5G capable device required. Actual availability, coverage, and speed may vary. See terms and conditions at straighttalk.com.
Final wing is ahead of schedule.
Slater's Construction Company has built a solid reputation.
Foundation looks great. Let's put a team in place for analysis.
Now they need structural engineers to support their business expansion.
We should have engineers in-house. That will put us ahead of the competition.
Indeed can help them hire great people fast.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. We instantly connect you with quality candidates whose resumes on Indeed match your job description. Earn up to $500 in sponsored job credits by conducting interviews on Indeed. Visit Indeed.com/credit. Terms and conditions apply.
Necessary Roughness with former NFL lineman TJ Lang and John Jansen. Download it today on the Odyssey app.
Up on the middle and into center field evasive. Castro around third and he will score without a throw. Miguel Cabrera base hit into center with 2 outs in the 8th inning has tied the game.
The best hitter on the team does it again as the Tigers explode for 4 runs and lose 5-4. Tigers didn't have to worry about almost getting no hit or almost getting 1 hit today, but they did something that's probably fairly rare. They escaped the Bronx without hitting a home run in a 3-run in a 3-game series. Like the easiest place to hit a home run in baseball. Now, the Tigers
This is it.
have more trouble hitting home runs than any other team in baseball. So if you were going to predict any team to not hit a home run in
Stopped you in
any
time.
game or any stadium or in any series, it would be the Tigers. But let me see if I can pull up the stats real quick. The Tigers this season, even after that electric homestand, have hit 30 home runs in 54 games. 30 home runs. The Oakland A's have hit the second fewest at 34. What about the Pittsburgh team? The Nationals have hit 40 home runs, 10 more than the Tigers. They have 33% more power than the Tigers, and they are 26th in home runs. If you double the Tigers' home run output this year, that would put them in the tie for 10th. So you're not even an elite home run hitting team if you have twice as many home runs as the Tigers. Truly embarrassing. And when things like that are the case, just because a team goes out there and wins 4 out of 5 against the Twins, just because a team has a nice little homestand where they go 6-2, just because they have a little stretch where you go a little bit longer and they're 7-2, that to me is not a good enough reason to even bring up the question, well, what did they have to do for you to believe? I mean, not being 9 games below 500, that's for certain. And I'm certainly not going to be entertaining chitter chatter about the Tigers having turned the corner when they're 9 games below 500 and all they have is a cute little stretch, which is what all 30 baseball teams are capable of doing and do every single year. The better teams do that more often, but even the horrendous teams like the Tigers also do it. They're coming up at 7:47. Scientists believe that they might be close to turning people into a particular movie character. I'll tell you who that is and ask you whether or not you would like to believe will be that movie character. That's coming up at 7:47. But before I get to some of the ticket texts, while the Tigers were tricking many of you out there into believing that they had turned the corner, a lot of you guys were perhaps believing the BS Detroit nonsense, whatever they were spewing. I don't know if you guys noticed, but there was another series that was taking place in baseball. And it was the Dodgers versus Pirates. Pirates, one of the worst teams in baseball, although they have been perking up a little bit lately. They're 24 and 28. The Dodgers, one of the best teams in baseball, 35 and 18. The Pirates swept the Dodgers. One of the worst teams swept one of the best teams. Does this mean that the Pirates have turned the corner and they're going to be a decent team, an average team, a 500 team? After the Dodgers got swept by the Pirates, does that mean their season's over and it's time for them to sell? Does that mean that they're not going to make the playoffs? Does it mean all of the above or neither of the above? You know, the one thing early on in the season when I was the first to give up on the Tigers when they dropped to 6-13 and people said it's a long season. Oh, why don't we just wait to see how this all plays out? It is a long season. I did not use that as an excuse to say, oh, I'm going to wait to see if they'll turn things around because I could see the writing on the wall before everybody else did. That's what you can do with a Penn State education. But when it came to the it's a long season argument, that to me did not play when it came to the Tigers. But what does play is that in a long season, great teams like the Dodgers have a bad stretch, have a bad series, get swept, and bad teams have great stretches. This is not the last time that we're going to see the Tigers have a good stretch this season. This is not, in a month from now, in July, odds are the Tigers are going to sweep somebody. Maybe they'll sweep somebody to get to 14 games below 500. Now, if they do that, or if they do something similar, 14 games below, 13 games below, 19 games below, whatever they do when they sweep some team, are we all going to jump back up there and say, wait a second, they just swept the Astros? Wait a second, you see what they just did? The Blue Jays, they just got swept by us. I mean, if we can get Mize and Manning back, and if Riley Green keeps on this tear, and we make a couple of moves at the deadline, are we going to do that again? Because I'm guaranteeing you the Tigers are going to have another solid stretch, similar to the one we just witnessed on the homestand. I will not be tricked. Here's some of the ticket texts at 248-539-9797. From Michael in a garage in Davidson. For me, when I watch the Tigers, the biggest issue is always their fielding. How does a major league team fix the lapses in fielding? Shouldn't these guys be automatic at the major league level? I don't think hiring or firing would fix this glaring issue. Look, the Tigers obviously made some more mistakes in the field today, but that cannot be the most glaring error. The defense. If the Tigers had scored 30 more runs this season, they would still be the lowest scoring team in baseball. By far the most glaring issue with the Tigers is offense, and in particular power numbers. But I mean, when you go to Yankee Stadium and you don't hit a home run, when you go to Yankee Stadium and you're on perfect game watch in the first game, and in game 2 you get one hit, and things like that are the norm. That's not to say that fielding is not an issue, but it is to say that it's not that it is not the most glaring issue. The most glaring issue is the offense. Tigers had the same woes defensively, but they were averaging, let's say, an extra run per game, they would be basically a 500 baseball team. They would be a baseball team that we all, or at least a lot of us, thought we were going to get coming into the season, where it would be this 162 game fight for 500. Whereas right now it's the fight to not be the worst team in baseball. And by the way, coming up at we'll do it at 7:46. I'll tell you about the worst part about the 9-game stretch where the Tigers went 7-2, where they tricked a lot of you in believing that the Tigers had turned things around going into the Yankee series. I'll tell you what the worst part about that was, because it's something that had me grumbling and shaking my head during that homestand. Also at 248-539-9797 from Tom in Madison Heights, the Tigers have turned the corner. Instead of going left to second, they go right into the dugout. From Pete, there are 2 people to put the blame on, Al Avila and AJ Hinch. And one more at 248-539-9797 from Dave in Clinton Township. Hey, Chapman, do you think AJ Hinch was trying to ruin Rodriguez's confidence by leaving